So even giant corporate Ted Turner backed monopoly CNN has an article admitting that jobs have become obsolete. The entire premise of being employed has become null and void. Because as technology increases, we more and more do not need this idea that we need to work for land and commodity. This is something I try to talk with my family about during the holidays, and they don't get it. They think I'm just some communist hippie idealist that thinks we can exist on rainbows, moonbeams, and gumdrops. And while I understand that it can appear that way on the surface, look around you. Look at all the shit we have. Look at my cell phone. This is a piece of shit. This is an old ass cell phone, and it does wonders. I can take pictures with it. I can go on the internet with it. I can communicate with other people in several different ways with it, and this is considered a relic. So imagine what a cell phone will look like in 15 years from now. Hell, 2 years from now. And as technology gets more sophisticated and more practical in giving us all that we need or want, why do we feel the need to work? Other than to work toward that joy and that necessity. And that's what people are not getting. You're not a slave anymore. I mean, you are, but you don't have to be. The worst slavery is not behind bars or, bound by economic turmoil. It is the slavery of your mind that you think that this is the way the world is supposed to be. And humankind, throughout history, since the moment they invented fire and forged a sharp stick to stab a deer with because they didn't want to have to get their hands dirty and risk getting, pummeled by its hooves, people have used technology to improve their standard of living. And it is always the reactionary that is afraid of technology. They are afraid that one day people will not be bound by their masters, that one day we will be self-sufficient, and that, everything will be available to us. As we, you know what pisses me off about being banned? It's not the fact that someone feels entitled to, eject me from a social ring that they have no business doing. If they don't want to talk to me, then they don't have to. But to force me not to talk to other people just because they don't like me and they're the administrator is some bullshit. But that's not the main issue. The main issue is that they're denying those people the right to whatever information or whatever communication I want to give them, and they are denying me the right to receiving communication and information. Essentially, they are limiting my options. They are limiting my potential, and that is wrong. That is evil, and it should not be tolerated. And that's what people are not getting. The internet was not designed for you to exist in your little plastic bubble and as a circle jerk and to enforce your terms of service upon everyone that you interact with. The internet was designed to expand human mind. It was invented to create a new world. Originally, it was designed as a defense mechanism against the Cold War. The government figured that when nuclear fallout was imminent, that we would have a means available to communicate with the outside world in our bunkers, in our government bases, and other means, because the world would just be so desolate that we would not be able to leave our bedrooms. And essentially, people have become like that anyway. People have become basement dwellers and don't leave their bedrooms anyway. But the environment, for the most part, is hospitable. You can breathe the air, you can drink the water. So, but it became more than that. Because not only did it become a way to survive and to make that interaction with the outside world, but it also opened the door for unlimited information. Every song, every movie, every news article, everything you could ever imagine and more is available to you. There is no reason in the world that you cannot use the internet to learn a new language, or to learn a physics table, or to learn what went on in history, or to learn what's going on right now in the news. You know, it's impossible to know everything. There's just not enough time in the day, and quite frankly, you'd get bored with it. You get bored with, you know, constantly looking on your screen, and while it's stimulating to learn, it is, you know, you need to do different things. As a creature of the three-dimensional world, you are going to need to move around, and you're going to have to distract yourself every once in a while. But there is no reason that, given the internet as it is today, people cannot be a hell of a lot smarter than they are, and a hell of a lot more compassionate, knowing all the different people they are exposed to, and how they are living through the same bullshit as we are. You know, they might be a little poorer, they might have some different beliefs that contradict your own, but for the most part, everyone is dealing with the same bullshit. And that should make you more considerate of how you treat other people. And that's not what's happening. For some reason, that despite how the moderators know that I'm a guy just like them, I take a shit just like them, I fuck just like them, I eat, I work, you know, and I sleep, they think that they are better than me, and that they can treat me like fucking dicks. And it's wrong, and it's ridiculous. And I see no reason why we should put up with it when we have the equipment to not have to put up with it. And I don't even know how else to word this other than, you know, progress is coming whether or not you want it to. Whether or not the moderators want the trolls and Jim Profit to be posted on their forum, they're gonna come anyway. 4chan experienced that firsthand. They banned me, and what did they get returned? Fucking bronies. I don't know if you know what a brony is, but all they do is spam My Little Pony and, you know, talk about stupid shit. So, that was their justice. They banned a reasonable guy that just wanted to voice his opinion, and I would actually use 4chan to get some news. I hanged out mostly on the news section, and people would link to news articles, and a lot of them I used as leverage for my videos. And when they banned me, they really cut down on my avenue for getting the news to you. You know, the news comes to me, and then I give it to you. And they came between that because Steve is a fucking piece of shit, tyrannical, white supremacist dickhole that should be hanged. But, you know, it goes to a deeper issue. It goes to the fact that we don't have to put up with this shit. And there's no reason for us to just go somewhere else. I shouldn't have to go to a different board, because that essentially says that people have a right to treat me like crap, and I'm just supposed to deal with it, and just supposed to move on with my life. No, that was not the intention of this invention. The intention of this invention was for me to not have to do those things to begin with. So, you know, we've reached a point where physically we don't need anything, but mentally we still have, you know, barriers to overcome. We still have obstacles that we need to overcome, in that people are, personally, they are in their being fucktards. Steve is a fucktard. Richard the Rapist Bueller is a fucktard. Mood is a fucktard. The YouTube staff is a fucktard. And that is going to take a little more time, but I believe technology can overcome that too. And I guess that's all I have to say. It's almost been 10 minutes. It's right about 9. And maybe I'll make a part 2 about how, you know, technology is our only means to get out of this rut. And we will reach a point where it won't be making money or accumulating land that will define success. It will be how much enjoyment you get out of life, you know, how many people whose lives you can touch, and how many people you can interact with, and how much information you can retain to share with other people, and share your experiences and your feelings. And we are evolving into a bodiless form. And I don't want to sound like some new age guy, because, you know, David Icke says shit like that, and then David Icke fucking bans me too. So, you know, I'm not some hypocrite, reptilian, new age conspiracy theorist. See ya.